keep it on that so people actually know that it started. There's a good chance to say if you're watching on the VOD, thank you. I feel like it's a little bit too slow to start because I don't see anybody in here in the beginning, of course, and it's kind of weird speaking into the void. But thanks for being here. We're going to get started in a second. And I got to stop starting on these black screens. I was like, is this thing on? But as you can imagine, I'm going to wait for people to start getting in here. And naturally, check my stream to make sure the audio is actually working. Who am I doing this for? Oh, it is. Hope I don't crush my own watch time by that, by accident. Just waiting on people coming on in. I'm getting better at this stream setup thing as well. I'll probably start, what would you say? When someone comes in. And if no one, I'll break it down my damn self. We gotta give it about... What's up, Bill? Wait, if you're here, but Bill's not here, then who are you? Makes you think. It's good to see you as always. Good evening! Wonderful to see you. Oh, you all flooded in at the same time. I just saw all the concurrent viewers just shoot up to 4. Oh. Usually, as you know, my videos start on a fade-in from black. And I realized, let me just skip ahead 10 seconds, because it must be very strange to join this. Be like, is this stream even... Is it working? Because this is what you usually see. That's... I wouldn't want to click on that. So while I wait, I like to have it now skipped ahead. I'll probably start at... Hello, Merlin! Wonderful to see you. I appreciate everyone who stopped in for the Voices of the Void stream. That was a little bit different. Actually went pretty well. The game is very, very difficult. I'm going to get a lot better. Morning sunshine. Aw. Thank you. You're making me glow. And if that isn't sunshine, I don't know what is. 6:05 is when I said I'd start. Mentally. So here we go. This is episode 3, My Kind of Town. This was, I would say, where I really felt that I caught my stride. I think the viewership speaks for itself. This is my most popular video. The algorithm really liked this one. From a production standpoint, I'd say after episode 2, I was like, I think I got an idea of how to do this thing. I think I really got an idea. Not to say there isn't some situations in this one where I was like, oh boy, I got a lot to learn. But regardless, here we go. And right off the bat, there's things I want to point out. My father owns a convenience store. And I didn't feel like driving all the way back to my hometown. So I asked my brother to go. He was still out there. And I was like, I need you to do me a favor. I already did most of the editing, which I had done. And I need some authentic audio of someone punching a drink machine, which my father has 2 in the front of his business. So my brother went out there and punched and kicked an actual drink box machine so I could get authentic audio. So I appreciate him and of course my father for being cool with us just whooping ass on his Pepsi machine. This is my first fun cold open. And it was a lot of goofiness to record this. Because I'm kind of punching thin air, you know? W, brother, I appreciate it. I just want to drink. Oh, I like the VATS. VATS's not working. Awesome sauce. I like that little noise of the drink hitting there. That's one of my favorite shots of the whole episode, right off the bat. I can't believe I like the way it made my hand look like I was going in there. I think this prop was a gift. I can't remember if it was my brother or my mother. I think it was my brother got me this for my birthday. And I was like, I got just the idea for it. It's going to be the cold open. And the first time the courier looks up to show that there's something above looking out for him. I liked using in-episode stuff as the thumbnails. Nice shadow work there.
Hey, Sonny. I'm a little short on caps. I don't suppose
this
there's any...
is something worth pointing out. If you notice, I look a little bit strange in the top of my hair, but it's not as squiggly as it usually is. That is because Final Cut Pro at this point had released the magnetic tool, which made it to where you don't need a green screen anymore. And I was like, good thing I spent all that money on a green screen, right? However, I like to use both now because you never know when the magnetic tool just isn't going to get the job done just the same as the green screen. And why not use both for safety? But in the beginning of this, you can see I wasn't using the magnetic tool as much yet. There was points in this sequence where you could see that I was a little squiggly still. But you can notice around my hair when I talk to Sonny, it looks a little bit strange because I was still getting used to the tool.
Hey, Sonny.
But I'm not
a little short.
I'm not as shaky as much yet. I hadn't mastered the tool. But you don't see like a bubble around my head.
But if you're up for a little scavenging, there's always
Drank Sunset all these years in Vegas and always dreamt to try root beer IRL. Don't have it in Russia, need to find shops with import. You don't have root beer. You don't have root beer. I'm a big fan of root beer. Wow. Wow. I would love to just have you come to the Fallout Fan Fest or something like that. Root beer is on me. This was actually, I didn't like the beginning of when I talked to Sunny. It just felt really strange just running up on her like that. The footage was very weird too. Actually, when I recorded the gameplay, she was walking with Trudy, and it was just really like clunky, like running up to her. So I had to make a kind of a jump of just me talking to her, which is why it started on her face, and then I answered, and I just didn't like it as much, and so it led to, I think, the first instance of me using like an establishing shot of like a transition really, but having the dialogue play of the character I was talking to. And it's something that I've continued to use and will continue to use because it really helps with flow and anticipation for what's to come.
Most of what's in there is junk, but there's this old safe that even Easy Pete wasn't able to crack with dynamite.
I really like that shot. This I didn't know if people would like. I figured people would stop watching at this point because it was a little bit interesting. But then once I recorded the audio of me grunting, I was like, this is silly. Right there. You'll notice I made it blurry. Love this approach, cinematic. Thank you very much. So I still have kill cams on. I don't know. I've been told by my brother that I should probably consider taking them off at some point because it's strange for flow. But it's a little bit of a quirkiness that I feel is kind of like unique to my videos, and that now when I kill certain things, you'll see here, when I was fighting in the game, it brought up a kill cam. It showed my player character swinging and hitting the mantis, and I was like, well, that's not me. That's the player character in the game, my character. So I just had to use the audio from it, and I just used a clip of me swinging the machete. Oh, the machete! I forgot to mention. I bought a real machete. At this point, I was like, I'm tired of pretending that I'm reaching into my coat pocket to use it. I decided, I was like, get a fake one. Do you know that a fake machete, all the ones that I was finding online and near me, were more expensive than just getting a nice, real, badass machete? So I got me a real one. Your grunts are as bad as his Yuri Lowenthal. Thank you. His are a lot more high pitched than mine. That's a big reason I decided just to start adding my own, and it felt a little bit more. It'll be more variation in mine at least. But I really tried to rough up my machete to match my broad machete in game. I used charcoal and a bunch of sticky stuff. Like I can't remember, or I peeled an orange and wiped it all over it and put charcoal on it. I worked. If you notice that blurry thing, that's what I wanted to point out before. When it went blurry, this is what I was talking about. Band-aids on things. When I was watching this back, I noticed that I was I really didn't know how to set up. This was a new space that I was filming in, and admittedly, I just really didn't know my space very well, and my studio lights were having a really hard time reaching to where I was filming. Damn, this machete is beautiful. Thank you. Oh yeah, it wasn't even that expensive, seriously. But instead of using a studio light for one point, I just used a lamp that my mother had. And unfortunately, if you look very closely, it's kind of right there in the Pip-Boy. And I was like, well, that's not inside the schoolhouse. That's embarrassing. So I was like, you know what? This guy just got shot a few days ago. He's swinging something really fast. You know, this is the first real combat besides Barton Thorn, which brought its own blurriness. And at this point, I had disabled Yuri's voice and his grunts. I found out how to like take off of the grunts in the game. Or I installed a mod, rather. I installed a mod that took away his grunts. So it gave an opportunity for my own blurriness. Didn't mean to do that. Kept it. Felt it was authentic to miss. And added the goddammit for effect.
God.
And a lot of people don't know that if you hit that mantis egg, all the little baby, the nymphs come out. So I wanted to add that because that's fun. And I know that if you use VATS on some of these, you can stomp on them. And I wanted to have a nod to that. I thought that light in the Pip-Boy was sunlight at first. I mean, it looks like it. I'll take it, you know? Wipe the mantis guts off. This is one of the first moments. This is magnetic tool all the way. It was a little bit strange to use at first. There was like a white haze from the wall behind me because I wasn't in front of the green screen. That's because I just messed up. I walked past my green screen like a moron. My brother was holding the magazine in place of like where a counter space would be, which is where later in the episode you'll see that I use I can't remember the name of the magazine right now. We'll get to it. But it's sitting right here in the game next to this terminal, and I wanted to make it authentic and make my own, which we'll see. But I needed it to be appearing that it's in on the counter. So I had my brother, who very rarely is around me when I'm filming, usually completely by myself, but thank goodness he had just stopped in town. I was like, hey, I don't need your help for anything else. Just pretend to be a counter, all right? Keep this magazine in your hand, and I'll walk over and I'll just take it as if you're the counter. But I walked past the damn green screen, and thank God this update had already came out. Another little thing I want to point out here is that if you notice there's like a lockbox in the right side, this is the first moment of realizing that I can manipulate the scene with certain tools to appear, in a sense, in front of me, and make it really feel alive, myself feel alive in the space. So you'll notice this shot already had this like lockbox in the shot, but I managed to get it to where it stays in front of me the entire time. Honestly, it's just through trial and error. If I have an idea for something, I kind of just test out a bunch of different ways. Why it takes a long time to make these, and you'd figure it out. Like I get pretty determined. I'm like, no, I really need to know how to do it. So I just use some different tools. Nowadays, I just use the actual magnetic tool, and that I've got really comfortable with it. And now I'll just highlight a space like that, and make it a separate clip, and put it over me. So now it's more essential, or it has power over me in the shot. So it's to the forefront. Take it from my brother's hand. This shot was a little bit of a pain to edit, believe it or not. This was the first moment as well. I realized when you use lockpick in the Fallout games, why the hell is there an actual like old school lock system on a terminal that when you actually look at the terminal in the game, it has like a pad system or something like that, and it has like the lock or just everything, all the information for it here. There's no lock here, so it felt strange to pick lockpick this when there's no actual thing to pick here. So I had to put it there myself. Pain in the absolute ass to edit, by the way, and isn't the greatest, but without this in episode 4, I cannot believe that it worked. I had the idea to rotate this whole shape and put it sideways on a door and actually look like I'm holding the screwdriver and the bobby pin. We'll get to that, of course, for the episode 4 breakdown. But without this goofy sequence here, like, I don't get to that point in episode 4, which turned out even better than this.
Stealth boy.
Gotta point out what's in there. I don't have a stealth boy prop.
Wait a minute. He's still here. Victor.
Remember, I talked to Victor in last episode.
Partner.
He said he'd be there.
Show up?
They were here. The fight's over.
Really? I must have dozed off. Although that's never happened before.
Hey, just give me 1 second, alright?
There were some issues with that one. That was the first,
I must have dozed off.
not that I'm going to sit here and bully myself.
Although that's never happened before.
This was a really hard thing to film. In hindsight, I see that it was like there's too much light here on this side of me, and it's kind of frequent throughout the episode. It is what it is. I don't want to point it out too much because then it becomes too noticeable. But
give me 1 second,
you can notice there's like issues with the Pip-Boy down there, like the little black spotches. This is every episode's a learning experience, right? You just keep going. And hey, Tornado. Oh yeah, we're only 3 minutes in. We got a lot to go. But this is just issues with the attention to detail is astonishing. Thank you very much. I tried. But yeah, it was definitely learning how to use this new magnetic tool. This Pip-Boy had some hiccups. But it worked out. Nowadays, without these experiences and be like, what went wrong? It's hard to go forward. But this was a little fun part for me because I worked my ass off making this magazine. What the hell is the name of it again? Programmer's Digest. There we go.
There may be a
My mom works at a retirement home. I was like, you grab a magazine and print this out for me. Grab one from your waiting room or something like that. My printer at my job was being an absolute pain in the ass to get this. And I was like, I just need you to grab a magazine, print this out, make it like the size of a magazine, and I got it from there. So I just got some glue, ripped out the front page, put it on there, got a lighter, and made that space stink. I lit that magazine all on fire all over the place. It's got that post-war look. I love the mag. Yeah, I love it too. When I was looking at it, I kept this one. I kept it. It's gonna be on my shelf.
data corruption to one of your memory chips. Let me take a look.
All right. We'll put everything back.
And I actually needed to use the magazine in game to
Override
talk to
command
Victor.
16 Delta.
This is authentic.
Does that mean anything to you?
Never heard of it.
I liked my voice when I said override command.
Partner. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
How did you end up in Good Springs?
I moseyed in.
This is the first suspect. Like, I started to suspect that the Courier would suspect Victor more. It's like, what's up with this guy?
I can't quite seem to.
Like, does he
recall.
know the people that attacked me? Type of deal.
Anyway, it's a right peaceful town.
Things
and I reckon
started to seem
it's
larger.
As fine a place to settle as any.
Do you know who those men were who attacked me?
Can't say that I'm familiar with the rascals. Some of the fine folks in town might be able to help you out with that.
I've already talked to them, but a good time to transition. And another sequence of the music in New Vegas just being there for me, man. It's even when in the most recent episode, I started pulling on different Fallout games because I just didn't like the repetition of the same tracks, especially just for like ambient scenes outside of like Good Springs having Good Springs music, Prim having Prim's music. You know, I really wanted to start switching it up. So I started using different Fallout games. But the point is that even when I use those songs, it just seems that right when it's time to transition or there's a mood shift in it, the music, I don't have to edit around it. It just always falls into place, and it just feels like such a gift. I think I've brought that up before, but this is another one. This was kind of just like an eeriness to it. It was like, I don't know if I remember I was using I don't remember what track I was using, but it always transitioned to that like Good Springs-esque theme, and it happened right when I was about to talk to Sonny. It was just perfect. Starting to think Trudy was right about that bolt bucket. Yeah. Yeah, the Courier's definitely coming around to Trudy's idea on that. He's like, something isn't right.
It's a right peaceful town, and I reckon it's as fine a place to settle as any.
Do you know who those men were who attacked
You
me?
can start to hear that Good
Can't say
Springs
that I'm
theme
familiar with the
just coming out of
Some of the
nowhere.
fine folks in town might be able to help you out with that.
And it was just
Hi there. Sticking around Good
perfect to
Springs
me.
for a while longer?
Just a bit longer. I actually need some information about the area around Good
Someone
Springs
thinks
that
Sonny's
I'm gonna hang out.
cute, which
Sure.
is very
What do you wanna
strange
know?
for me,
Well, for
'cause
starters,
I like
I'm wondering what other towns are nearby.
humans.
Southeast of here is Prim. Can't miss it. Since it has the giant old roller coaster right
I'd
in the
love to
middle
see
of
him
town.
get even more
The NCR's
suspicious
got
as
an
he keeps
outpost
running
there.
into him in
If you
Novak
follow
Van.
the
Oh,
road
for
north,
sure.
you'll eventually hit
Oh, it's
Sloan
gonna be
and
getting
Quarry
just like,
Junction.
alright, buddy,
They
what's
mine
going
rocks or
on?
something, but I heard they got
Most of my
troubles lately.
playthroughs, I end up running
I
into
wouldn't
him
head that
again
direction
outside
if
of
I were
Boulder
you,
City.
though.
Yep,
Got critters up
likewise.
there that don't take
There's
time
another
to get
random
in
one
shot.
What kind of creatures
that
are
I'm gonna
out there?
try to trigger in the next
Around
episode.
here, mostly coyotes and geckos. The coyotes are
It's a
pretty
little
dangerous.
surprised.
and
It
large
actually
packs, but
jumped up on
otherwise
me
they're nothing to really worry about. The
Quite a
geckos
few
aren't too
times
tough,
when I
but
was
they've got a
recording
nasty
episode
bite.
3, but
I've
I
heard
couldn't
about
use the
bigger,
footage because it
nastier
didn't make
versions out
sense.
in the wasteland, but I've never seen them. Stick to the roads when you can, and steer clear of the hills north of Good Springs. The critters up there are big and poisonous.
I hope to avoid that.
Damn right.
I'm headed to Prim. Can you suggest a route?
Sure can. Take the road south.
He needs so many directions. I gotta point that
Prim is a
out.
town with
I
all
was like,
those
alright, how many
straight
times am I gonna
south.
ask people how to
Can't
get
miss it.
there, or
NCR
look right
patrols
at a
do good job
billboard
of
and be
keeping
like,
the highway clear. But I'd keep your gun where you can reach it easily. You never know who you'll run into. Off
a
the road, you'll
little
probably start running into hostile
thinking
wildlife.
about what he did to Barton
My
Thorne
advice
there.
would be
A
to
little
stick to the
callback
highway
to
when
that.
you
You don't
can.
know who you're gonna run
Thanks.
into or what you're gonna do to change your own life. And what does the Courier really want to say here?
I hope our paths cross again.
Until next time.
Really soaking it. This was a pain in the ass to get at this one. I could never get the size right, and I didn't know which one I should use as a transition. I actually swapped a lot of these clips around with the sunlight to know like when I should be using it. Wild Wasteland! Must have been some hippocampus damage for sure. Really want to add the Wild Wasteland stuff because it's fun. Cut content!
Hey there.
You know I'm going to be
I'm
using
fun.
the cut content.
Peace, traveler.
What brings you out this way?
Just a hunter.
This is one of my favorite sequences so far in the whole series.
More than the bullets cost to kill 'em.
Good luck to you.
At the sacked caravan.
Keep
Oh,
moving.
you see the hiccup there? You can see. I shouldn't point this out, but you're here, right? Look at that little black. And I notice I have to use damn Google Drive because I'm still having storage problems on my computer, so it takes a little bit longer to get a clean look at all of this. Point is, if you notice the black box that is horrifically cropped onto the Pip-Boy, it's that damn room light again, creeping up into the shot, and I was trying to make it make sense. I was like, well, maybe the sunlight is hitting the Pip-Boy, or hitting like a car part or part of something on the ground reflective and then hitting off. And I was like, who are we kidding? It's clearly a damn lamp. We won't be messing it up again. But you don't really notice if you're just watching all the way through, because
Brings you out this way.
I don't know. Who's
Just a
looking for a
hunter out
random
here
black
killing
box on
things
top
and
of the
hoping their
Pip-Boy? You're looking at my
hide
face
fetch
while
more
I'm
than the
talking.
bullets cost to kill 'em.
Good luck to you. Can you point me towards Prim?
Oh, but you know I'll
Sign
notice.
says you go south. Just look for the roller coaster. Oh, and don't go north.
Sign says
A
you go
caravan
south.
just
Oh,
got
right
sacked
behind
up
him.
the road.
The light was in the Pip-Boy there, but who cares? Oh, the music is perfect for this. I knew I saw this hunter somewhere. I remember watching
What if I go
Triangle
around
City
the
Guy who
caravan?
covered the cut content. Damn
It
right,
just
there
gets
you
worse
go.
The further north you go. Death claws. Death in general. But it's your ass, I suppose.
I like his
Appreciate the
lines.
warnings. I think I'm gonna go check that caravan out.
And the machete
Good
right
guns
here
loaded
is
and ready.
bad ass. Music starts hitting perfect. Made that noise naturally. That wasn't edited in. Like I was like, oh shit, this is like a real machete. That's awesome. I was worried that YouTube was gonna flag me for this stuff. This the Dracomies part of this, it's very graphic, and I had to work around.
Running low on smokes again.
And this is what we get
Any
for
law
not
man that comes
attacking
after
the
me
powder
won't have
gangers.
it easy.
try to censor her pretty well. We won't have to go into a lot of detail about
That'll
what
teach the
really
Paladins to
happened
avoid
at
good
the.
springs in the future.
Oh, I gotta talk about that. What happens at the sacked caravan, lore-wise, is a lot darker than what the game could actually show at the time, and I think Dracomies really brought it to life, and it really, in the most unfortunate ways possible, showed like the dark nature that is post-apocalyptic America. Like it's pretty horrific, and this guy is just wandering around the bodies like as if it's nothing. It's dark, but I had to use the crows to my advantage to really cover up some nudity that the mod brought on. It was disturbing myself even getting the gameplay. I was like, man, he really went for it. The metallic sound, oh my god, yeah, it's so cool. No clothes means something bad. Yeah, I think we know what's going on, and I think it's supposed to be lore accurate to what actually goes on in the sacked caravan. Is this Ringo's sacked caravan? Is that what it's supposed to be? I can't remember. It may be. But I had saved these lines. I had talked to everyone in Good Springs, and I was like, I didn't want to use the footage because it was ridiculous just to go back and talk to everybody and do it all again. More hatred for the bad guys, exactly. And that was the goal here, is that I was like, you know what? I need to show, this is my first thinking of, when I don't fight the powder gangers, yes, I did it from a standpoint of now they won't attack me later, like I had knowledge of the game in a sense, but I had to justify it and allow it to build the character as well, and to not attack and allow PTSD to take over, but then to go out into the wasteland and see the absolute the damage that the powder gangers have brought on, and then I include the voice lines of the NPCs of Good Springs to show that they think it's over. They think that this is it. But I walked right down the damn hill, and I see this. And those conversations start playing through the courier's head. It's like, you know what? They all think that they're content with what has happened. Like, we showed them. No, you didn't. You got Joe Cobb and a few of them. Look right over that damn hill. They're right there. And you said, I always knew they did something gruesome. Yes, it's Ringo's caravan. Perfect, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. So, and this is in a personal sense. I mean, this is Ringo's people. I mean, Ringo is still there. You think that they're not going to keep coming back for him? That's my thinking on it. Something has to be done. The courier doesn't want to do
That'll
it.
teach the powder gangs to avoid Good Springs in the future.
That was a hell of a fight.
Looking
Let's hope
over
it
at
doesn't
him.
bite us in the ass later on.
I'm glad that business
Censoring.
is over. I like it when Good Springs is nice and quiet.
Can you pull it off, though? Do you have the heart? Where is your karma at? Can you take that next step to quote-unquote protect? And it's the gripe of the courier. At what point? And then that immediate transition. It's like, this isn't me. I'm not a fighter. Look what happened with Barton. But it's just the main thing that I want to address in this whole series is that why does the courier feel that it is their responsibility to cleanse the waste? And here we're still trying to tackle that. It's like, maybe this isn't for me. I don't think this is me. I remember at this point, we're not there yet, but I know what happened to my parents. I see the brutality the wasteland brings, and I know what my mother tried to teach me. This isn't me, but damn, it's hard not to. There's a calling. But this episode is all about that balance. It's like, you know what? I don't want to take that next step. I don't want to do it. Because I remember what I did here. A little behind the scenes, I'm holding a damn rake. I don't got a shovel. Pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. Let's go back. little silly note. This better be the last time. You can't tell. Looks like there's some alien thing. A little darkness there. I don't know what happened there. I was watching it back. That's definitely from my green screen or something. I don't know why. Annoying. Use some shovel sound effects. Now we got to talk about this, right? I absolutely love this, but there's some definite things that we need to point out. My lighting, I guess, when I did it was horrific. I don't know what went wrong. Everything on me, like you could just see this whole green hue around my body here. I was flickering all over, like my collar was glitching out, like it was like almost like the green screen wasn't picking up. My Pip-Boy wasn't picking up. So when I tell you I had to work my ass off, I ended up copying and pasting 3 or 4 of myself of this shot. I cropped out the collar to make it its own separate clip, and then it's no green screen. It's just the collar, but I gave power over the rest of the green screen clip around me, and used a bunch of tools just to put the collar. And I had to do the same for the Pip-Boy, is that I just had to cut it out, use non-green screen footage, because for some reason when I started to actually use the green screen, like the keyer, it started glitching out. Like, I have no idea what was going on. So you'll notice if you look closely that the collar and the Pip-Boy, I'm a little bit darker because it was just off. And then when it fades out, you'll notice that it's just mainly collar and Pip-Boy kind of stay in the shot because they were a lot more of a pain to fade. So I wanted to make the first call to the to the flashback sequence that happens later as well. I figured this was a good time. Additionally, I wanted to have my whole body in the shot sitting higher up on here, with the machete in front of me. I had this whole thing planned out. There was actually a machete at my feet. It was supposed to sit down at the bottom of this. I had it planted correctly. I was going to be sitting up there, but my pants rolled up, and you could see all of my socks, and it was really, really silly and distracting. And so this whole shot just didn't work. And then I was like, I gotta make it work. And I spent most of the time editing on this shot. My computer was like screaming at me. It was hot. It was a pain in the ass. But I was like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to really bring on that flashback, in addition to kind of distracting you from a lot of what's going on here. But I just had to use the shot from that flashback sequence. Crop it. I had to use the damn draw tool. So I actually had to click, 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 click all through this mountainside. It took forever. And to stay on the rock, so then it was perfectly cropped into the space. And obviously it's that first test. What do you think's going through this person's head? Hello, I've been here before. I've had to bury people before. I'll go back because it's a cool shot. Worked my ass off for it. And I really like the game lighting. I think from the mods that I have, it really came in clutch here. Music was hitting good. Let me bring this closer to my mouth. I apologize. This is kind of a pain. There was some cool... Not a pain. There was some really good footage I got of these douchebags standing out front. Problem is, I probably would have been the only one to notice, there was a really cool shot of another powder ganger holding their rifle on their shoulder, walking right in front, and it looked really neat. But when it's the shot of them, of me rather, walking towards them, it was completely different, like NPCs. Like their clothes were all different because it was just different angles, so I had to do different. I don't know. You gotta load it back and go forward, and there's a lot of work of pausing or saving, loading back, and then getting the same thing but in a different angle. And every time I loaded back, these bastards would change clothes. And could I sit there all day and use console commands? Yes. Would I want to do it? Absolutely not. So it's just him standing out front. It's still cool. Sky's looking beautiful.
Well, that's the end of that. Never gets old when something blows up.
I think that's kind of funny. This is one of my favorite things about playing New Vegas. So when I was a kid, it's really blurry, unfortunately. I remember when I recorded this gameplay, I was like, why did it turn out like that? Ew. But I love the Rad Roach v Gecko, like when you're walking to Prim every time. Took longer than I would have liked, though. And then the Gecko was never seen again. Cool. And that was just a nod to my childhood. I would always stop watching to say cool. I was like, hell yeah, creatures going after each other. Here we go. Blurry as shit.
Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Prim is off limits.
What's going on in Prim?
I'm getting tired of it.
Convicts from the prison up the road have taken over the town. Everyone inside.
It was interesting to use the lighting for this one.
What's more, there are 2 tribes of raiders causing trouble.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely think it is certainly OBS settings. I'm gonna have to go into it. My only concern right now is how much Good street lighting. Thank you. I actually spent a lot of time trying to get the lighting right for this. Live and learn, I guess. It really gave me my first chance to really mess with lighting or post-production color grade stuff. But yeah, I think OBS certainly is at fault for this. The situation, though, going forward, is that to change the settings in OBS, it takes up a lot more storage. And it's a lot of storage that I don't have. I have to look into getting an external hard drive, I guess, for my laptop. But as I've said before, and you can all laugh at me all you want, I use a MacBook. It's just the only thing I was ever trained on in high school. And when I was in college, I had to use it as well. I just use Final Cut Pro. It's all I really know. And I don't really feel like trying to learn something else at this point, of course, because I'm getting pretty good with Final Cut. So it just doesn't hold much, and it's hard to get external hard drives that are like worth it for a MacBook. I probably will end up doing it just to try it, but yeah, just to record in a higher quality on OBS, like definitely is just a lot more taxing on my little MacBook there. Piece of crap. I'm not gonna I'm gonna say that. Don't ever make fun of your equipment, because it hears you, and I'm so sorry. You're doing your best, buddy. You're doing your best.
From the prison up the road,
It'll remember.
over the town.
Oh, they always
Everyone
remember.
inside is either dead or in hiding. What's more, there are 2 tribes of raiders causing trouble in this area as well. You'd be safe.
Haven't talked to them yet. Those raiders
Thanks
have.
for the warning, but I still got business here.
Damn right, you tell them.
You may want to talk to Lieutenant Hayes. He's in a tent down the road. Just stay on the west side of the overpass if you don't want to get shot.
Didn't know if I should add anything there, but it felt weird just to not do something.
Got business here.
Dick.
I'm not sure you should be here.
Bastard.
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
Okay. MacBook will remember that. Seriously. Getting a little... Oh, we get to talk about something. This. Oh, one day we'll connect back to this. Since I was a kid, have always made this observation, and I always wanted, I should just make like a YouTube video, like make a new account and make one video talking about this fan theory. It's my fan theory. And I'm going to give another quick tangent before I get to it. One time, I wanted to address it, and I commented on an Obsidian Instagram post. Probably not Fallout related. I'm sure it wasn't. It was like their most recent post. It was like a day old. And I go on there to comment about what I'm about to tell you all. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with the rapper Ugly God. I get on there, and the most recent comment was Ugly God from like minutes before me. And it was just, I was like, wait, what the fuck? What is Ugly God commenting on an Obsidian post for? It was the most insane crossover. And Ugly God is complaining. It was when 76 was out. It was like, the new Fallout is like ass, but like Bethesda is ruining it. Y'all need to take over this franchise and make another like New Vegas. And I was like, yo, Ugly God, the rapper, is a New Vegas fanboy. It was like, I was mind blown, and I had stumbled across it. His comment was like minutes old, and I'm like trying to I was only there to comment my fan theory. I didn't know how to reach anyone. And nowadays, I guess, in hindsight, I could have reached out to like TKS Mantis or something like that. But here we go. Ugly God aside, when you're in Prim, if you'll notice, when you walk around to the tents back here, it does not play NCR music. It plays Legion music. And I noticed that. I was like, why is it so scary over here? Like, why is it playing like what it plays at the fort and stuff like that? And I would start looking at this wall, and I noticed that it almost looked like a dog head and a Legion, like two like Legion recruits, one standing on both sides of this figure. I remember being a kid and just standing there looking at it while the Legion music played. I was like, is this supposed to mean something? It might just be a texture glitch. But just coupled with that Legion music, I've always found it so strange. And to me, if you look closely, and it's going to bring up this, make it darker, of course, it just seems like the eye patches on like a Legion recruit's like helmet, this Legion type headgear that I don't think you see in New Vegas, but like it just looks like it kind of goes up here, the face mask, and then something like that. You know that of course Vulpes has the fox head, Linnaeus has like the giant like sculpture head. It just seems like a nose here, a mouth, this like eyes right here, almost like devil horns in a sense here. I haven't really paid attention to that, but these ears, like this like dog bear-esque monster figure. Anubis god of the afterlife. Yeah. Am I going crazy or do I actually see it? I see the dog at the center. Yeah. It's certainly these type of creatures. Here's the thing that pissed me off, though. I was like, this is my moment to finally make that video to, like, kind of sneak in my, like, little fan theory. That the Legion has come at least as far as Prim. Now, we know they're in Nipton, and the Mojave Outpost is like, dear God, they're all the way in Nipton. They're that up on us. Like, they're really spreading. I almost wonder if they've already been to Prim as well. Have something to do with what's going on in this area and the chaos that's coming. Perhaps Lieutenant Hayes is a spy. And because he is one of the characters that, like, oddly moves to a whole different place when the stuff in Prim ends, it's like, seems like he's really on a mission that's not addressed. I don't know. I almost lean towards the spy idea that, like, you know, this is, like, his doing in some way, like, we're here, like, without saying, like waving a flag. It's like, we're taking over. But a problem with recording is that I use not graphics mods, but, you know, just like quality of life things to make the game pop a little bit more. When I recorded this in mine, the wall was completely different. The wall was all different. It looked nothing like this. I had to go back to my hometown, throw Fallout New Vegas on my sister's Xbox, her Xbox One. I threw New Vegas in there, hit Xbox record that, got that 30-second clip of me standing here. So you're looking at Xbox gameplay in the fully acted Courier series. Just for this shot, I had to use some editing and post-production and kind of make it fit a little bit better. Like a little foreshadowing for things to come, it seems. Legion does have eyes and ears everywhere. Yeah, I'm completely with you, and I've thought about all of that for years. Like, it just feels that there's something there. Like, and like I said, it could all it takes is, like, almost like just random bricks on a wall. But I don't know. It's still, even that, it's still odd that the Legion music plays on top of it. Remember Curtis as well. Exactly. Like, they are known for this. And he's noticing as well. He's seeing something. Oh yeah, I really, like, beat it in. Almost as if he's seen it before. Yeah, but we got other things to get to. Hey there. You wouldn't have it to be Lieutenant Hayes, would you?
I'm Sergeant McGee of the New California Republic Army, 5th
This guy's a
Battalion, 1st
goofball.
Company. If you want to talk about something, speak to Lieutenant Hayes.
My apologies.
Ah! Lamp! Black box! Pain in the ass.
Where are you from, McGee?
I'm from the hub originally, but it's been a long time since I saw it. I'm on my second tour here. Most non-commissioned officers are.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. If you'll excuse me.
Oh, the black box! Oh, I didn't stay on there. And when I transitioned out of there, it zoomed out. That was a hard scene to edit, alright? For no reason. Like,
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
it was tough for no
If you'll
reason.
excuse me.
Sir.
Good evening.
Glitched out there
You
again.
must be
I'm
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Hayes of the New
He
California
interrupted me.
Republic Army.
Hey, remember I told you I was gonna try to get better with that? You must be like, no one wants to hear me say it all again. You know, Lieutenant Hayes is like, why the hell did you walk into my camp? Like, slide up on that, like the what the hell do you call that? I just had it in my head. The flap.
If you'll excuse me.
Just flew open the flap, walked into my tent. What's your business? Like, of course
Good
I'm gonna
evening.
interrupt you.
You must be
I'm
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Hayes of the New California Republic Army, 5th Battalion, 1st Company. What's your business?
Well, curious to what you're doing out here.
We were sent out here to
Shadow
hold back
work
the
here
tide
was
of
good.
convicts from the correctional facility. As you can probably tell, we aren't doing
5th
the kind
Battalion,
of job
1st
we could
Company.
be
Yep.
doing.
It
What's
does
the
work
problem
better
with
in this
it?
shoot.
The mission is
Yeah.
the problem. The problem
I
is
started
the
using the
supplies.
fade out.
Convicts are better armed and organized than our intel initially suggested. I'm trying to get some reinforcements here, maybe some guns with some firepower, but shit. Things are just going slow.
Oh, first time really working
any
with two
information
different
on the
angles.
convicts?
Pain in the ass, a
Not
lot of
much.
storage.
They've taken to calling themselves powder gangers.
Lighting this was tough
Mostly
too, I
because they've
remember.
taken to using the
Oh,
explosives
it didn't
to
play
their
out,
business.
and you know what bummed
You have
me
any
out? I
information?
couldn't use the footage because it just wasn't
Information
working
on the
out.
convicts?
You couldn't hear me,
Not much.
and
They've taken to calling themselves powder gangers.
I laughed. It's hard to notice, but remember, I laughed my ass off when I heard the name Powder Gears before. I still find it funny. I should have, I don't know, it just didn't work out the way I really wanted, but it's there. You can see the smallest giggle, and then I got to hold it together, because I'm speaking to Lieutenant Hayes. I can't be laughing at his face when he's trying to give me intel.
Powder gangers. Mostly because they've taken to using the explosives meant to clear boulders as weapons. They got organized faster than I would have thought. Most of them, at least. Thankfully, the small group in town here seem to have split off from the main force, so they aren't getting anything in the way of support.
Tell me about the correctional facility.
Little giggle there.
Most people just call it NCR.
Still thinking about Powder Ganger.
NCR Correctional Facility.
I haven't seen this video in a bit, actually. This is neat.
Killed the guards that weren't able to escape, and I've been ransacking the area since then.
NCRCF. Got it.
Man. Hey, I got a lot better with lighting recently.
I got a bit of a ridiculous question.
There it is. I wanted to keep it. It was the first time just like using. You keep it rolling. You stay in character, all right? If to any of you, if you ever do any acting work, it's the most like it seems like the most obvious thing. But so many people when they're starting out are inclined to be like, "I messed up," or like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." No. Keep it going, all right? I had to stay in character. You know how hungry I was at this point. I was supposed to be. It was like the halfway point of my filming day. I was starved. You can hear my stomach growling so badly right there, and I just like, in my head, you can see when I close my eyes, I'm like, stay in character. You're hungry. You're the courier. You haven't eaten. You're hungry. And I had to just clutch up for it, and I kept it. I laughed at this one when I saw it. I'm glad. I didn't know if anybody would have any idea what's going on.
NCRCF.
But if you listen closely.
I got a bit of a ridiculous question. Sorry. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
I have some free time. Ask away.
Well, what exactly...
I didn't want to, it felt right. Like, it made it... When I was looking back at all my footage, I had all of them. It's just like, I kind of have a ridiculous question. On second thought, I actually don't want to take up your time. It felt a little bit clunky. It gave it that awkward median of just like, okay, all right, my stomach's growling. Like, why am I asking him all this? Because it's very, very odd if you think about New Vegas writing. It's kind of exposes some weird things about this game. That I'm just walking into their camp. They have no idea who I am. And I'm just like, yo, tell me, like, everything about what's going on here. Like, who are you? What's up? And I feel like I'm wasting time. And when you ask a question like, well, who's the NCR, or blah, blah, blah. Courier, I'm watching your holotape right now. Why are you trying not to laugh? Yeah, it's spot on. But, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really, like, just thinking about the absurdity of just, like, talking to some of these NPCs and how forward they are with their information. But this was also, if you look closely, you can't really tell because I worked hard to like make it not as obvious. I didn't use the Lieutenant Hayes. I didn't click on all of his dialogue options that you could ask him. And then I realized later on that it was cut content. And I was like, well, I want to include the cut content. So then I had to go back in there and he wasn't standing at the exact same spot, but you can't really tell.
I don't want to take up too much of your time.
I have some free time. Ask away.
Well, what exactly... or who is the New California Republic?
Where do you come from that you haven't heard of the NCR?
Rude.
Well, I've lived in a few different places.
Never
but...
mind, it doesn't matter much. If you haven't heard of us, you must not be.
Slight head tilt. That's what I'm talking about. And I thank you, Royce, there, because that comment about like the audio, I was like, it did sound a little bit strange. And I really wanted to play into it more. I started to be more conscious of it, and I just had this shot of I made it actually seem like I was getting interrupted while I was like doing that take. And you have that little slight head tilt, like, where do you come from? Or I'm like, whoa.
Where do you come from that you haven't?
And like,
heard of
I'll
the
get to where you can actually
Ask
hear it,
away.
like interrupt.
What exactly, or who is the New California Republic?
Where do you come from that you haven't
Not
heard
interrupt.
of the NCR?
Well, yeah.
Well, I've lived in a few different places.
Never
but...
mind, it doesn't matter much. If you haven't heard of us, you must not be from the Legion. Put simply,
And the Couriers lived a
the
few different
NCR
places,
is the
but where?
greatest nation currently functioning.
Well, beyond that...
Yeah,
can you
doesn't
tell
it
me
sound like so
more about
scripted? That's
not
why
be-
I kind of like these cut content lines, because you're just like, it's the greatest nation. Like, it's just probably the voice actor's fault, but it just sounds like it's like a script. Like, he's supposed to say this. It's just like, like, we're the New California Republic, the greatest nation. Nice to meet you. Who are you that you don't know your history? Stop
Be from
burning
the
my
Legion.
books.
Put simply, the NCR is the greatest nation currently functioning.
Well, beyond that, can you tell me anything more about the NCR?
You tell him.
Sure can. The NCR was founded from the survivors of one of the great vaults. We started.
And I
as a
thought this
small
was neat for the
settlement called
Courier to
Shady
know.
Sands.
I wanted to
We
include
now
this in the
consist of
end. When I
5
went back
states.
and took the cut
We make up
content, I was
the
like, I'm going to
greatest
keep that
nation
actually.
since the Great War.
We
Well, then
remember.
why is the NCR interested
America.
in this desert?
Well, it's
Yeah.
no secret. Our interest here is twofold. First, we want to remain in control of Hoover Dam. It
Okay.
supplies the Republic with power and is a source of fresh water. Second, we want to prevent the Legion from advancing across the Colorado River and endangering the home states.
See, I keep hearing about these boogeymen, the Legion.
That was a hard line to do. This is improv.
Who are they?
Caesar's Legion. A bunch of degenerate slaves.
I like his
led by a
eyebrows there. He
madman
actually
who
looks
calls himself
pissed.
Caesar. Every one of them is a barbarian to the last.
To the
I've
last.
even heard one of their leaders, the Legate or something, goes around with a human skull on his head. Savages to the last.
Ooh.
Thank you for answering
I
that
don't remember
question.
doing that, but I like that he continues his line while looking at me.
If you wouldn't mind, can I take a seat here for a while? Till the sun
That's
comes.
such a strange request.
Sir?
I just really want to use this shot of me sitting there because I knew the sun would be up, and it just felt weird to walk out and the sun's up. So I wanted to make it seem like time had passed. But the game works quick. All right. I'm pink. I loved this shot. I loved this when I like watched this back, like when I was editing it. I was like, oh damn. Like, I mean, I look a little bit tiny, but like it's far away. When I'm doing it on my laptop and watching on TV, I don't like this small. My computer really makes things a little bit more perspective, I guess. But if you really stood me up and moved me a little bit closer, I probably would be around that size. It just looks a little bit strange is all. However, when I recorded the gameplay of Disarming the Minds and I like kind of fumbled that one, it felt really cool. And like I was like, I gotta include this establishing or just like this shot of me like walking up to it. It really wasn't that hard either. It's when I'm filming, obviously I'm a lot like it's like similar to these type of shots. Like I'm still in that same space. I'm really like that big, but you just gotta shrink yourself a little. You just use the editing tools and shrink yourself down. But I really like the pink right there. That was a preset in Final Cut Pro, and it fit perfect there. Tiptoeing. I had to drop the audio because the shoes on the hardwood floor were really coming through in this. But it looks like I'm actually stepping on the road. Cute little Courier. Yeah. I love this part. Just kicked that one. Missed it. Like, gotta add the breathing. It could have died right there. And it's canon now. This is another instance of a draw tool. Obviously, when I first put this image of myself in the game, my whole body was in front of the car, and I just had to like take the tool to cut everything out and just stay on the line. It's actually a lot more tedious than you would think. The slightest mishap, you start seeing the street or you start seeing parts of the sky and certain things. It can be pretty tedious. My hair was flickering there. And you know where we're going to go over here. Got some audio of using a Pip-Boy. Got my Stealth Boy. And it was hard to, I didn't want to like, I didn't want to make it too strong, too soft, and it was really hard to find a balance. Because here I just look invisible. But I'm not, alright? I worked my ass off to make it really look like a Pip-Boy. This is in Final Cut Pro. If anybody wants to... I almost wonder if I should make little videos just about breaking down on how I do certain things. This is it's like reptile eyes or something like that. There's some like reptilian-esque distortion tool in Final Cut Pro. And then I just lower the opacity. But I use the like reptilian eyes because it has this blockiness to then when you're moving, this like it makes it just kind of stiff in a way, and it just looks how when you're moving with a Stealth Boy, how the background behind you kind of is like strange in a way. Like I think as someone in the game said, like a reflection in water or something like that. No one hears a word they say. Yeah. But you can kind of see me. All right, yeah. I just had to back out, make the screen a little bit darker, or less dark. But yeah, you can see my arm and everything, of course, right there. You can see my head. Problem was my skin tone was still the same, and that looked a little bit strange. You can see my like Caucasian face. You can see the powder ganger standing over there. Again, how many times I had to re-record this? In fact, hold on. We're gonna get to. There I am in the right. You can see me moving. It's kind of actually, to me, it looks like an actual stealth boy. I was very proud of that. Here's a little bit of a background that really bums me out, but you know, hey, here we are. I had a really cool shot in gameplay of this random dude running in here and just clearing out the convicts. One of them, when I had my stealth boy in game, I was right near the other courier's corpse, and this convict backed all the way up against me. And I was like, oh my god. Like, even when I was recording the gameplay, I was like holding my breath. I was like, oh my god, don't see me, because it's going to make this really hard to edit. And whether like restart the save, yada yada. Before he can notice me, he just gets his head blown off. Like, I mean, you know, new Fallout style. Like, that head was gone. Right in front of me. Made me jump and everything. I was going to have it cut back to my face. Like, when the stealth boy wore off, and there's going to be, like, this blood splatter. My eyes are going to be wide. Like, well, that's the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. Turns out I wasn't recording. Hell yeah. Didn't record it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm at Yes Man Quest. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a really fun quest line when you get to Yes Man. I look forward to getting there and this work. But nonetheless, we can't focus on what we didn't record. We just gotta like live with what happened, and it turned out fine. And it's nice to have you here. That's a better stealth boy shot. You can kind of see what I was working with there. But yeah, I don't know who this dude was. He just, yeah, you can even in the voiceover, I was like, oh shit. Started raining. That kind of pissed me off when I was recording, because I was like, why is it raining? Like, it was getting chaotic, and it was really boring fight. So I had to use some transitions. I'm sure you can tell that if you look closely, like, it's not there. Somewhere. Oh, it already passed. There's quite a few transitions, like, in the combat to make it go faster. There was one, I think. I know there's one right here, because it was pretty boring. This fight happened a lot long, and there's one. It was supposed to make it look like my head was jerking to the sides. Leaving wasteland moment, I believe. Yep, I believe you were correct. But the rain was not anticipated, and then I was like, well, now I gotta edit with the damn rain.
Come on.
Oh, if you notice, I always forget. Even I forget. I'm so glad it caught my eye. Let's let it get still for a second. Okay, I have to move my mouse just to make the screen darker, but I'm right here. You can still see me, damn it. And I told you before, it's the things that no one else will really pay attention to, but I take very serious. I had to make sure that I was really in the shot, and we couldn't cheap out and be like, oh, I had a stealth boy on, you wouldn't be able to see me anyway. Like, no, damn it. I'm supposed to be there. I'm right there. This dude really just whooped ass, too. It's crazy. But he got hurt.
No.
And my stealth boy is still on right there, of course. So I just like the idea. This dude was just like that post-American badass. I don't know what else to call him. That even with me when I stood up and went over there, I didn't think he saw me. He was just like, howdy. Like, he knew I was there. This dude kicks ass.
No.
What a legend. And then it fades off. Little glitchy with the camera there. I had to use a Final Cut Pro tool, the rain one. It looked terrible compared to the mod's rain. The raindrops weren't as thick, so you can kind of see some rain is falling in front of me. Yeah, this shot was kind of glitchy for some reason. It was shaky. I don't know what happened there. Music got intense out of nowhere. Spit coming out of my mouth. Just for context, by the way. You notice that I am out of nowhere now soaking wet. I had ran my head under the shower. Just completely put my upper body under the shower, ran back out to my green screen and hit record. I was like, we gotta do it! We gotta do it! Go, 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 go! So I was like soaking wet from the shower. And I think, in hindsight, Well, no, I knew it in the moment. When I was doing this, I was like, God damn it, stupid rain. I can't believe I have to do this. I got to make sure it's never raining again. For this episode, ooh, the rain, the way my hair looked, it's just the brutality of it all worked out. Random prospector cowboy comes into town and kills a bunch of convicts. Sees guy in South Boy, says howdy, refuses to elaborate further, leaves. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to ruin the mystique of this character. You notice right here that there is gunfire. Look, I never checked again, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but pretty sure he got rocked right when he walked around the corner. Like the convicts back there. No, they definitely did because they show up even later in the episode. He died. had the coolest moment ever. We're gonna pretend that he didn't, right? But I'm almost positive that as soon as he went over there and I was recording the gameplay for this part, like just the shot, and all of the gunshots started when I was just sitting here getting the footage, pretty sure he got rocked. Rest in peace, legend. Take you off running.
I don't know what it was that brought you to Prim, youngster, but you might
don't know how he said that
rethink your
line with the
plans.
cigarette right up there in his
Time's going to
mouth.
hell.
May I ask who you are?
I like how the lighting turned out for these
Johnson
shots.
Nash is my name. Husband to Ruby Nash. Lived in Prim going on 8 years now. Thick
We
and
didn't
thin.
talk to Ruby in this
I'm a
episode.
trader
We
primarily.
didn't call for it.
For what it's worth.
Expert
things
smoker.
like they are.
Talks through the
I
cigarette.
also run the local Mojave
His sacrifice shall
Express
never be
outpost.
forgotten. He's gonna be my favorite side character so far.
I'm a courier at the Mojave Express.
It's all coming
Well,
back
I
to
don't
the
got
Courier.
any work right
Now,
sorry
of course,
to
it's
say.
been
Local
known in
Mojave
a sense,
Express outpost.
but I really like the idea that the amnesia is starting to kind of fade. That it's just like, wait a minute. No, I heard something about a platinum chip. I read the note, but for some reason, hearing Johnson Nash say it, it's just like, oh my god, that I'm a courier. That whoa.
I'm a courier at the Mojave Express.
Well, I don't got any work right now, sorry to say.
I lost a package I was supposed to deliver.
I'll tell you whatever I can. You have a delivery order you can show me?
I think it
What
was
can you
just
tell me
mail
about
that
this?
my mother let me
Oh,
borrow.
you're
I think it was
talking
very
about one of them
important.
packages.
Don't zoom in on it.
I can.
I'm pretty sure it
You
was
have
like
a
important.
delivery
I was
order
like, let
you
me
can
make
show
sure
me?
I'm like holding my hand over it because I couldn't find anything else that looked like it should be like the order. Is the courier showing Nash his own delivery order or the one he picked up off the dead courier? I've thought about that myself actually because I definitely did pick up that one. I was gonna read it at some point. I never did it again in this episode, the next, or the one after that. I don't know if I ever will, but yeah, the original thought was that I was gonna compare the two. I would like to say that this is like his own, but it is his own. But I remember when I picked it up, I was supposed to like I was planning on like just looking at them, but I didn't have enough mail around me, and then I just realized I was like, you know what, it just doesn't. We don't have to sit there and compare. I think it'll get to a point when we talk to House. When I get closer, maybe one day I'll do a shot like that and just like reading them out loud. It's like fuzzy dice, and I have a platinum chip. What the hell was a platinum chip? And why did this guy get shot? Like, and well, he got killed by the convicts, but it's just like this is like the most cursed delivery ever. Like we're all getting bullets to the head. Love his design. Looks better than original in my opinion. Yes, I agree completely. This mod did a really good job. I think one of the more interesting ones are when we break down episode 5. Eddie. Eddie's voice actor is African American, so it really was odd that Eddie was Caucasian. And they changed it in the mod. This mod switches all the races to their voice actor. We're not going to get into any of the debates about that. That's not the point. It's just more so the voice actors themselves did have a very distinct voices, and it just felt better. I don't know, with it kind of matching. I think we go on multiple levels that it just felt better. But aside from that, the models that they made for when they made these switches really was good too. And I think Eddie's was good. Johnson Nash, I don't believe, is in to that discussion of voice actor race. I just read Jacomi's thing, and that was kind of one of his goals, that he wanted to switch everything around to make it like accurate. But there were quite a few overhauls that I really enjoyed. And honestly, I downloaded this mod for this series for moments like the Sacked Caravan. They're not in the base game, and I felt they were really intense. When we get to Nipton, I don't want to give anything away. Who knows when that will be? But I I thought it was so intense when I used these mods for the first time. When I go through Nipton, I might not be the next episode, but if not that, then the one after. That changed me completely. My whole perspective of New Vegas shifted. After 10 years, over 10 years of playing, when I used Dracoma's mod and I walked through Nipton, I was like, okay, the Legion are barbarians. I mean, this is sickening. Eddie does look more menacing in his mod. Yes, he does. And the mod is Dracome's Fallout New Vegas redesign 2, I believe. But I'm going to warn you now, it could destroy your game. You need to really, really read other users' guides on Nexus mods and things like that. Because it is a monster to use. There's a lot of suggestions. Actually, it might be a redesigned 3. You got to read a guide. It's the redesign series. It's 2 or 3, or it's 3 revised maybe. Like it's a lot of recommendations, and you have a lot of different people trying to tell you what works for them. But in the end, I think I used like Quinn's revised version of these mods. And I think another patch on top of it that was like Viva New Vegas friendly, which if anyone mods New Vegas, of course use Viva New Vegas. There's a lot of suggestion to change the, it's like with the bloat something with the faces you change to 1 when it should be at 0, and the game files, which I had done at the time when I first downloaded the mod, and it is so heavy on performance, and it's like B-load faces something. And I changed that back before I started the fully active Courier series, and I just used all these revision mods. Now, that's not to say there won't be problems going forward, don't get me wrong. Like, I really might have some hiccups with the game, might need to completely restart my playthrough and fix my mods, and then just, console command myself to the next part of the game and start doing the quests as if the other ones are already finished. We'll see. But I do recommend the mods for at least, if you can get into these zones, to where you get to experience what I'm talking about, like walking through Nipton. It will change your whole perspective of the game. When you walk through Nipton, you're kind of just looking, it's like, man, like, yeah, that's messed up. With these mods, I'm almost concerned that YouTube will flag me, because it is very, very graphic and real. Like, it really gives you the perspective of what the Legion does to people. Should the Nipton scene be during the day or night? Oh, that's a good question. Howdy, everyone. Happy Saturday. Howdy. Welcome, Recent Dog. Good to see you. Man, that's a really good question, though. Nipton day or night? I'd say during the day, because then you can see the absolute brutality. A lot of these mods, when you're doing Viva New Vegas, sometimes it makes it darker. I think it's been recommended here before to use the Moonlight mod. I do recommend that. But I felt that during the day, I could really see the graphic nature of what the Legion had done. But now that you mention it, I might do for this fully active Courier series, I might play with both and see how it looks. I might do that like tomorrow. just go to Nipton and just walk around for a bit and like I'm scouting my scene, just like a real movie. I'm scouting the area, like, oh, this would be a good place to shoot. Yeah, I'd say during the day too. Yeah, I think so. I think so. It feels that over the nighttime is when the Legion really went after the town of Nipton anyway. Like, they drew at night, the lottery. Drew in the daytime, the lottery, then at night continued their slaughter. And it just feels like accurate that into the next day they would be leaving the town. So it just feels kind of right to do it in the daytime. But I think with all the tires burning and the nighttime, like, that could be really intense experience as well.
What can you tell me about this?
Mail! I hate mail!
So you're talking
Eric
about
Andre,
one
anyone?
of them packages. That job had Strange written all over it, but we couldn't turn down the caps.
What was strange about it?
That cowboy robot had us on 6 couriers. Each was carrying something a little.
Cowboy
different.
robot, it's starting to come back. Like, wait, I know a cowboy robot.
Cowboy robot.
Please tell me.
You mean the one over there?
Nope, different fella, bigger.
I like this shot.
Had himself a face on a screen, and he talked more like you or me.
Okay.
Yeah, who the hell was
I
that?
apologize. As you were saying.
Last word I have in the office.
Now, this
it
is a
looked
thing
like
that I've been
payment
working
had
on
been
as well. I think that it should be pointed out. If I think it happens here. If not, just know it happens pretty often. It happened a lot with Eddie and Scrambler and stuff like that in CRCF, where I will cut part of a line that the NPCs are giving me. like when they're like almost in a sense monologuing. I'll split it in half, react with the response, and then like improv a cue to give them the spotlight back. Where it's like, okay, as you were saying, I did it with Myers, or I'll use other things, other dialogue options, and I'll sprinkle them into their long monologue. I know I did that with Myers because like he was kind of rambling on about things, and he brought up Cook, and it felt unnatural to let him give his whole spiel and then be like, "Oh yeah, who's Cook? You said that name in the middle of all of that, and then we focus on everything, and then at the very end, I'm gonna bring up something that's not as important as what you already said." So I was like, moments like that, I'm like, "Wait, who's Cook?" Got the answer. Okay, back to the point. And I kind of did it with here, like Cowboy Robot. You mean the one over there? And then it goes back to Johnson Nash saying what he needs to say about the package. Question: does the mod make Volpe's blonde? I remember he was originally planned to be blonde. It's shown in those collection cards. I want to say it does. I don't know because I have never whooped his ass and like taken his fox head off to see. I'm almost positive that it does. I'm almost positive it does. Because I have seen mods of him being what he looks like on the cards, and I feel like Dracomes would have done something like that. Also, if you aren't familiar, I think you pronounce his name, Dracomes, something like that. He's also the mod author for, I believe, quote me if I'm wrong, for Brave New World, that really interesting mod that added all unique voice acting for the characters in the game. So you don't have all these repetitive actors. He does incredible mods that are really ambitious, but are also quite taxing on your game. So you just got to be really careful. There's a lot of very specific instructions, but I would recommend all of his mods. But be careful.
Okay. I apologize. As you were saying.
Last word I had.
This
in the
perm music
office,
is really
it looked like payment had been received
really
for
neat.
the other 5 jobs. Guess it was just your chip that didn't make it. First deadbeat we hired to do the job canceled. Hope a storm from the divide skins him alive.
Just a quick thing about me growing up. That line by Johnson Nash, like a storm from the divide skins him alive. I think my brother used to say it wrong. I think he would say eats his skin alive. I don't remember. But I remember we would say it to our next door neighbor, who was like my brother's age. My brother's a year and a half younger than me. So he was like in our age range, but he didn't play Fallout at the time. And so it's all we want to talk about, obviously. If you can't tell, I really like Fallout. So we would talk about it, and then my brother would just use these random lines when we'd be like having kid arguments, and like he said something randomly about like a storm from the divide eats his skin alive or something like that. And I remember our neighbor was just dying laughing. Had no idea the reference, but just anytime my brother would say it would get him every time. I don't know if he's watching right now. That old neighbor has definitely sent me some things about watching my videos. I really appreciate it. He did get into Fallout. I think his first was Fallout 4, and then we were in agreement. Hot take. Is it? No, it's not. We were in agreement that the Minutemen were the best. Minutemen are the best for the Commonwealth, and I stand by that. So cool. Thank you. I'm going to have to send him this if he's not watching right now, and then I'm going to have to question, where were you? If he's not here, of course they are. Yeah. If not, I hope a storm for the divide skims him alive.
Chip that didn't make it. First
Here.
we hired to do the job canceled. Hope a storm from the divide skins him alive.
Oh, thank you, Fallout, for giving me so many fun memories, even outside of the game.
That's where you came in.
He canceled.
Yeah, I got this look when he saw you next down on the Courier list. His expression
Another
turned
settlement
right
needs your help
around.
on marking on the
Asked me
map.
if your name was for real. I said, sure.
I asked if the name was for real. What's my name again?
Kicking. Then he turned down the job, just like that. I asked if he was sure it was good
Shocked.
money.
What's happening?
No. Let Courier 6 carry the package. That's what he said. Like the Mojaves sort you out or something. Then he just up and walked out.
Do you know who he was? Where he went?
No idea.
Yeah.
Sounds like you two had a history for him to act like that. And turn down the money,
That must
too.
be so stressful.
Hope he
Like, I'm being serious. Like, you just got shot by Benny, and this person is clearly not Benny. And it's just like, wait, why does everybody hate me? What's the beef? It's just like starting off in Fallout 3 if you were there for the stream. You're walking to take the goat and everyone's just talking shit the whole time. What did I do to you? What did I do? Like, from this Courier's perspective, it's just like, why does everyone want me to die?
You know who he was.
Who am I?
Went.
No idea. Sounds like you two had a history for him to act like that. And turn down the money, too. Hope he didn't
I guess
see
we have
any
a history,
trouble in
clearly.
that package of yours. Maybe he thought your name was bad luck. Enough for me to say.
Well, about the package I was supposed to deliver. Someone stole it.
Yeah.
The man in a checkered suit and some thugs. Did they pass this way?
I remember,
Well, now
it's
that
moments
you
like
mention
that.
it-
I'm going to be honest with you all. This is going to make me sound like kind of lazy. Now, a good actor, I guess, would I could, because I have all the footage. I can memorize my lines and go into it. I got my laptop sitting right over there somewhere usually. I go up to it, I read the line, I memorize it in like as much as I can in like a minute. I walk back over and hit record, and there we go. And then I say it 100 different ways until the way I like it. And I waste a lot of footage that way. Lines like that, though, they're so long. And I'll pat myself on the back. I do get them right, like, pretty quickly. I'm like, damn, let's go. But it's anytime I walk up to the screen, I'm like, all right, what's the next one? Oh, God. That's a long one. Here it comes. First mention of Ulysses at this scene really sets his character's mystery. Definitely. Could I see that list? I really like to know my name. That's such a good point. That would have been the moment. Just like, yeah, let me get that, actually.
Someone stole it. The man in a checkered suit and some thugs. Did they pass this way?
It's a mouthful.
Well,
You can
now
see I'm
that
pausing.
you mentioned it, a few nights back, one of the townies was out scavenging for supplies.
Oh, boy.
He said he saw a fellow with a daisy suit come through with some of them great con
Daisy
misfits.
suit is hilarious.
They was talking about a chip.
One of those men shot me. I need to know the best way to get to them.
Well, for that, your best bet is going to be talking to Deputy Big. Since they
Look,
came
even
to
if you
town,
take the
he
HUD
was
off,
keeping a good bit
like, the quest thing pops up, and it's, like,
of
clunky.
notes on him, and he was slinking around.
Like, that one actually went kind of well, but a lot of them are just, like, they're weird. And as I mentioned before, I know how to take this off, but I'm scared to mess with the game file stuff. I wish there was just a mod that just took off. Because, like, hey, if I want HUD-less playthrough, I don't need to see this, Johnson Nash. And it makes things weird when I'm editing, like when I'm high and stuff like that. Then the names start moving with all the high effects. At this point, it's becoming, like, synonymous with my videos, I figure. It really isn't that big of a deal. If people cared, they would probably not watch. Like, I mean, that'd be a weird thing to, like, be like, no, you can see the names. Like, it's not worth it. It's fake. But, I don't know. It makes me feel weird when I'm doing it. But anyway, to the point, when the HUD's on, the quest things still pop up. And you can still hear certain, like, level up things. Like, the music still plays. And I just try to play with them to make them, synonymous with something that's happening in the game. Like, when I level up, I want to make it, like, mean something at some point, I guess. Like, a revelation of some sort where, like, man, I just learned science, you know? Like, now I'm going to put skills into science. I don't know. Let's just say it's Courier's brain damage showing. No doubt. Like, you know, some people, you know, it's very strange things. I don't know if anyone used to watch Tosh.0. Daniel Tosh has a podcast now called Tosh Show, and he just had one of his friends on there who apparently can, like, visualize time, or, like, in a different way than everyone else. Like, can, like, when someone brings up what time it is, they see it on a clock that no one else has, and they visualize. So maybe this is a side effect for the Courier, that anytime he meets someone new and it gets their name, there it is. Doesn't explain when you just meet someone and their name's already on the screen, I guess. There is a mod for that, actually, come to think of it. I know there's a mod for that the names only show after they've said their name. That could be the thing. I heard your name and now I see your name. A side effect of the bullet. Now we're getting somewhere. It completely kills my immersion. I was convinced you were really in the game until I saw the text on the dialogue menu. Your character smells colors and see text now. All good. yeah, it's canon. It's canon.
When you're a pretty boy friend.
But I'm thinking about using that mod now.
He may
That's
have
neat.
heard
Hopefully it
where
doesn't
they
destroy
were
my
going.
game.
Thank you. Is there anything I can do to help you guys in return?
Yeah, I remember I needed reason to do the quest line for Prim, and I realized that Johnson Nash is very straightforward. He doesn't tell you, like, well, I'll tell you about who can help, who can really be the one to get the information for you. If you help me with something first. He kind of just like points you in the direction. It's like, look, if you can get to him, you can get your information. He's just very forthcoming. So I felt that it was a good thing to be like, all right, what do you need help with? Like, I feel like I owe you one. Everyone's been trying to kill me recently, and you've been very kind. And this is the first look into the Courier, the big thing that I wanted to address with all of this, of why does the Courier feel that it's their need to cleanse the waste, in the sense, like everything, I'm the one who sets things right. I make the shots, literally and metaphorically.
He may have heard where they were going.
Call the shots. But
is there anything I do to help you guys in return?
Right now, Beagle is the closest Prim's got to any organized law.
That?
But he's still stuck up in Bison Steve. First thing I'd say is
Bison
get his
Steve.
sorry butt out of there.
Local man might get shot in the head and claims to see text in the air afterwards.
Well, you can call Beagle a deputy, so...
Yeah, this shot here
First thing I'd say
was really long, and there was no point to add a reaction shot, in a sense.
Save the deputy.
What did I say? Something about save the deputy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna rewatch this 100 times. I like it.
First thing I'd say is get his sorry butt out of there.
Okay. Save the deputy.
Well,
because you can say something about... There was something you click on, and there's another voice line that triggers this response from Johnson Nash. It was clunky, and then there was no reason to ask or say what I need to say. But then I really liked the cue of like, okay, like I made up that line, of course, like save the deputy. I think I made that up. And then he's like, well, you can call Beagle a deputy. Like, it felt like a natural, like, next step. I am Bison Steve. And I thought, as a transition here, his line was fitting.
You can call Beagle a deputy,
so I used it here.
So long as you don't harbor too high an opinion of the word. Boy was about as useful as tits on a rat scorpion.
This was fun. I liked it, actually. I felt it actually looked like I was leaning. This is the... you can really tell, as I brought up before, if you guys weren't here earlier, this is the first episode of the Fully Acted Courier series that use Final Cut Pro's magnetic tool, where you don't need a green screen. Of course, I'm always going to stand in front of my green screen for safety. Remember I brought up the squiggle that a lot of my first two videos had, like there's like a waviness to my hair and stuff. This is really where you see what the magnetic tool can do. Problem here for this shot is that the borders that it puts on were way too strong, and if I tried to take them off, then the squiggle would come back horrifically. But it really helped me with certain shots in this episode. I was like, thank God this update came out when it did. Gotta do the thing, but I'll leave you running on the other PC. Have a fantastic weekend, and don't forget to smash the like, y'all. Appreciate it. I'm gonna be streaming again, everyone, at 9 o'clock. By all means, go to Reese and Dog's stream through the night as well. Have it running. Wonderful people. When this is over, like I said, I'm going to finish up here soon, and then I'm going to get it back going at 9 o'clock for Fallout 3, because I want the VOD to be separate. It's just been... I've been feeling bad for people who want to keep up with Fallout 3, if they do, for whatever reason. Like, then they have to sit through this, and if they don't care about this, or vice versa, you know, not the point. But I'll be starting it back up later on, and in the meantime, I highly recommend checking out their stream. It's a fun time. As I was saying, I have the magnetic tool here, and you can really see the difference. This one has a little bit more of a border, but there's no more squiggle as bad. You can kind of see it there because of the border, like I said, but I don't have that waviness. And this is when I learned that I can start pulling things. What's running through the character's head here? Also, I just needed filler because he talked way too long in his dialogue here, and I was already getting up and walking to the Bison Steve, and I was like, all right, I need something to cut me off here. But I thought about the idea of when I walk through these doors, I'm about to be this person, this courier. Like, I'm going to be shot dead as soon as I walk in there. I'm panicking about it. And I learned how I can use the magnetic tool. So I just magnetic tooled him, went over there, got the footage, put him, and it worked. And that's when you know, if you know my Duty or Enrichment video, is because I learned how to start pulling things from the game and put it in the real world. I have some ideas going forward. They take a little bit, and I don't think they're ever going to do as well as my actual Fully Acted Courier series or the streams, but they're fun to make, and I might just do some little nuggets in there. I thought it was silly that when the NCR trooper is running right at you, he talks to you in a normal volume. My neighbor downstairs who likes Fallout, we talk about it all the time. It's like where the hell do you think you're going? Dude's like a mile away. Like, shouldn't the line be like, where do you think you're going? Like, so like, I don't know. I went down the alley behind my apartment and filmed that, if you've seen the video, and I just have the NCR trooper. And that was because I did this. Everything leads to something. You just got to take the, like, just start playing around with editing, because you never know what door it can open in. And this was a one where I was like just trying to find filler to like keep him on his dialogue going and keep me on, or keep something on the screen. I played around, came up with an idea that like made sense story-wise, and then I was like, wait, now that I know I can do this, like, I could make a play on the fact of like that NPC running at you and talking from across a mass distance. The green screen looks, I'm sorry, I'm really behind in the chat. I've been rambling on. The green screen looks really smooth here, thank you. Of course, to Recent Dog. Prim is off limits. What? You're in Richmond. Oh, why did I say Richmond?
What's befell him. We would have considered paying the ransom if we'd had caps to spare.
Wow, there it is.
Still,
I think there's a lot of questions on how this was done. I saw someone ask recently if I had a mod that made it, and I was like, no, no, I don't actually. I did that. I had an idea to make it flow better, and it just does, obviously. I'll try. I know that I should just be streaming off my MacBook at some point, but like do like a technical stream. So here's the general idea. I walk up. I think I used a freeze frame right at the door, like right here is probably where the freeze frame started. This is also where I would have been clicking E and then going through a loading screen, naturally. I copied and pasted, I think 3 of the same freeze frame. One, or not 3, of 2. So one is of, I cut it in half. So one is this door and one is this door. And there's a third clip on top of the interior of the location. So here I have it just the door. This is, believe it or not, these are 2 different clips now. One is of this door and one of this door. And then I used a distortion tool, and you can make it like, you know how like when something looks like it's slowly fading in, or not fading in, but zooming in. You remember in episode 2 when I'm looking at the Yangtze Memorial and it's like going forward? That is, I can't remember what it's called, but you like tick something, and then when you tick it, you can like change the shape of something, and then you tick the other side, and it'll like move fluidly into the. It's like almost like a transition into it. It doesn't just go from here zoomed in, here zoomed in. It's like a gradual like zooming in. So you use that. And I made it with the distortion to show to just turn the door. Like, it starts here, and then when I in 1 second I want the door to be over here, but I don't want it just to jerk over. It kind of does, don't get me wrong, but it's supposed to just kind of look like it's opening up. And obviously once you start to open it and it swings open like that, did that for both of them, then you're inside. And you gotta, like, the biggest part of course is when you walk through that door a little bit. When the doors start to open, you have to see the next image.
If we'd had caps to spare.
It's a lot better with the other one when I'm running, but this was the first one I tried, and I remember I showed my brother, and I was like, look, I just had this idea just for fun, and I can't believe it actually worked. Like, I was just sitting there, and this is just what happens when you just have a project to do. I had no idea, like, I knew the bare minimum of editing, really, before this. And I'm clearly not like a professional by any means, but it's just things like that. You have an idea, but because I played with these tools for so long now, just making these videos, I was like, I wonder, is because now that I know how to use that tool, could you do this? Could I make the doors actually look like they're opening in the game and make it more natural? This was a pain in the ass to film because I had to crouch down. My back was killing me. I remember that.
Anybody there?
Oh, poor thing's scared.
What was that?
Got caught. You can really see my earrings there too. Stupid NPCs. You just gotta get out of there. Can't do it. This is one of my little nugget favorite things. This is actually kind of difficult to edit. There's a little flickering going on down there. What the hell am I gonna do? I'm sure you could probably have noticed the weather started to get like gloomy on me. Like the weather mod started to like have that transition, and it's the same thing with the doors and like the zooming in that I was just saying. I realized that everything in Final Cut Pro kind of has that gradual like transition thing you can do, and I think I saw that it was for color, so I made the color matching more of the environment here. And you'll notice that when it skips ahead, I start to be more gray gradually with the sky. And that was another one because I just did the door stuff. I was like, wait a minute. Can I do this with anything? Like, can I make the color kind of fade as well into or transition into something in real time? And sure enough, you can. Is sneak one of your Courier's tag skills? He's real good at hiding. It is, actually. I actually think it is. I knew that I was going to be hiding during the Ghost Town gunfight, and I may have put it as... If not, it may have just been explosives, speech, and barter, so I could get through Good Springs quicker. I put the repair up to make it more accurate to fix the radio, of course. In episode... What episode? In the new episode, I tried to talk to Prim Slim in a drug-induced state, and I didn't have the science. And I try to keep all those things pretty accurate. Like, if I can't do it, then the courier shouldn't be able to do it. Or I better get a magazine, right? So, but it's a, I don't remember if it was a tag. If not, I definitely put points into sneak and have continued to do so because I really am going to need it. Like, I'm going to be needing sneak throughout the story, like, because I don't want to keep splashing fake blood on myself all the time, and I don't think it makes sense for the courier's conscience. I know he's kind of gone off the deep end, but there's still part of him alive, especially after the situation with the drug-induced state with his mother visiting again. There is a desire to not go down that path, but it's so hard. It's so hard. Bro, I think it's awesome you streamed the making of this. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy breaking it down. And I'm glad that all of you are passionate about what I'm doing. I cannot thank you all enough. I know I feel like almost I copy and paste like how thankful I am to every person who comments on my videos usually, but it's like every time I am being so sincere. I've shared before, like I got like ADHD and OCD and stuff pretty bad, so there's a lot of nights where I have some anxiety spikes about all of this, and I'm telling you, it seems the comments start randomly coming in, like right when I need it. I was having a really weird wave of anxiousness before streaming today. Not in fear of streaming, but it just because of how I am. And it kicked in, and sure enough, like another comment popped up of someone watching one of my older videos and just leaving a really nice comment. And I was just like, dude, like I really needed to see that. Like it really has improved my quality of life, and I appreciate you all, truly. Because for me, this is just sharing my art, you know? And there'll be critiques along the way. Who cares? I can handle that. I've been to college. I had my work critiqued. It was rough, but having it on this setting, definitely it's scarier. When you're in those settings with your art there, and you know a professor is about to rip you apart, it's just like you anticipate it. Here, you don't know what you're about to anticipate. And when I've only had I think 2 mean comments that I deleted. Not because I'm a baby, because I don't want my community to like be that way. I take out anything that's purely hostile, so you don't have to see it. I want you to all to come to my comment section and just have a good time. You don't have to see anybody like dunking on me. If it's funny, I'm gonna keep it. If you can lay into me about something, that is what it is. I've had quite a few that were kind of backhanded, but it made me laugh, and I was like, I don't take that any sort of way. But if people are coming in here and just saying that it's all trash and all that, like, you don't need to see that. Like, it's just negative. It's just lame. So I love having these streams, and then I feel that it really narrows down who's really watching, and who's really invested in what I do. So I appreciate you all being here. What bad things could anybody possibly say about this series? It was just, you know how it is. You know how the internet is. Someone was like, I think, inebriated in some way. It seemed intoxicated, and it was like typos everywhere. And it was just like, me and my nephew were about to do this, and like, we're going to show you how it's done, or something like that. And I was like, I kind of wanted to keep it, but it was just really like, kind of troubling to look at because of how many typos and it was all over the place. And I was like, I'm sure this is like rage bait, but I was like, this is pretty negative. Like, all right, you're gonna show me how it's done. I wanted to respond to be like, by all means, because I encourage anyone to make art, and I really want to see if they could do better than me. But that's the thing. You open that door. I think there was a Moist Critical broke some video down of some douchebag in the comment section, which is like, oh, I could do this so much better, and the guy was like, all right, go ahead and try, and then the villain like did this piano thing way better. That's nerve-wracking. What if someone whoops my ass and I'm like, okay, the bully wins? Oh no. So I just got rid of the comment. Yeah, no room for it here. Here for a good time. Yeah, exactly. I don't want any of you to come in here and see all of that. It's ridiculous. And I don't want to see it either. Like, I'm not gonna shy away from that. Like, I mean, it didn't really get to me, but it was just a matter of just like, I don't want to like get on my every time I check that video and see that sitting there. It's just like, it looks ugly. It just looks ugly sitting there. And then another person, I made a YouTube short about when I took out Barton Thorne. Or no, when I didn't fight the Powder Gangers and I was hiding and I was scared and the PTS was kicking in, and the comment was just, this Courier is a pussy. And it kind of made me laugh, and I was like, alright, bro. And I was like, I've heard that in my time, so I guess I don't know. I had thick skin for being called that, I guess. So I took it in stride. I deleted it, but I was just like, alright, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for the engagement. Rush E video. It's like, oh yeah, Rush E video. It's like the guy says, I can't play Rush E or something. Yeah, that's insane. I don't even want to promote that video, because it's just like, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be a Rush E situation. Keep up the great work. Thank you. But I don't know. I wonder one day when someone's going to take this idea for a different game and see how it's going to look. I'm always I will admit the only thing that does make me scared is that if they kind of knock me out of the water with it, and I'm like, well, at least I was a trendsetter, I guess. But I want to make it a collaborative effort, you know? Like, I want to talk to the people who do it. I want them to reach out to me, be like, they like seek guidance on it. Like, I want to think that I have started something, like a new way to Let's Play in a way. Like, I saw a comment about that. I was like, you know what? That's a neat idea, a neat approach. If someone takes my idea and does it better, then I want to say, like, you know what? They saw me do it, and they're like, I have an idea. And that's the beauty of art. You know, how many times have you heard like a good song that's like sampling another one? It's just like they hear something, it's like, I got an idea for that. I can make something really neat now that I have that idea. Go for it. Are you kidding me? Go for it. But don't just do everything that I'm doing. Don't do that, because then I'll flag you. Like, be original. Do your thing. Alright, what was I saying? I fade here. You see? I start to get more gray as the clouds come in. That was fun. That was something I really like when I realized I could do it. I had a lot of fun with. Oh, I like this so much.
No.
Fight music. All right, I know we got to talk about it. It's the same thing we talked. Damn it! I knew it was gonna be too far back. It'd be slow. I want to play out first.
No.
I like the music hit right when the bullet did. This is a wonderful example of what I was talking about before. You notice the door stopped here, but then it did swing open, and then the footage I had gameplay. Do you know how long I went back because it was an original interior shot that I was using, but it was like really crappy. I made a whole separate video when all this was pretty much finished, and it was just me going into this shack through the loading screen and running right into the room, and I had to do like 50 of them because it just never turned out right. And this is the one that I ended up choosing because you're just running right through here. The shock of the bodies. Thought I would get my video taken down for them. Screaming in my filming space.
What the hell did you do to these people?
You like that?
Got intense.
Do I like that?
I want to talk about that too. Dude, the stuff they were yelling out was just so perfect. Seriously. Just noticed that radio's on. Could have put some static or something in hindsight. Oh well. When they yelled you like that, I was just like, it just felt so perfect. Like, I was like, what the hell did you do to these people? You like that? And I was like, ooh. Like, when you hear the NPC say that, like, they all say that, you know? Like, you like that? Like, but for here, it felt, like, intense. I was like, oh my god, do I like that? And I was like, these people are fucking monsters. I have a very similar idea with Fallout 4, but with our game characters, Reese and I, making up our own origin stories. That's a wonderful idea. That's kind of how this, started in a sense. I was just going to do voiceover and, like, you know, do cuts to my character in game and just like do just a fully voiceover thing. And then, but I don't know, because I already do actual acting outside of YouTube and my preschool job. I was like, well, I may as well put myself in the game. Like, I don't know. When I had the idea, I knew I really wanted to do it. But I think there's some YouTubers who I see who do. There's someone on TikTok. Who is it? I guess I'll give them a shout out. Is it Candy Guts? Has like a companion series. Like they made their own companion and voice act a companion while they're playing Fallout 4, and that's really neat. So there's definitely some opportunities to like immerse yourself with your characters and doing voiceover for, especially for Fallout 4. Drop that voice protagonist. You definitely use a mod or something to get rid of their voices and do your own. I think that would be really cool. Or use an alternate start mod, and you two could just go a complete different perspective. You're not even the sole survivor related to that. You're just in the Commonwealth. I think you two would do an awesome job with something like that. Yeah, you liked that? That was perfect. Yeah. Oh, man. When you yelled that line, it woke me up. Oh, yeah, by the way, I guess now that he just said that, it's out. You probably already figured that Vincent is my brother. Thanks for using your government name and getting me killed, by the way. When you yelled that line, it woke me up, and I thought you're shouting in frustration trying to record something. Yeah, I tend to get a little bit pissed off at technology, especially when things like start going wrong. Especially when I told you in episode 2, I lost like a whole night's of footage. I punched the door. I wouldn't say I have anger issues. It's just like technology is so damn irritating, and when you lose something you put your heart and soul into, like I worked so hard in the acting and really tried to get it right, and it was all gone because of a technical error. It wasn't even anything that I didn't even mess up per se. Like I don't know. So I get a little bit angry. So Vincent is correct to assume that I was screaming at the technology. Bastard.
No.
Ugh, gruesome.
Fucking monsters. What the hell did you do to these people?
I'm glad that audio didn't fade. I'm sorry, I gotta stop talking over you like that. I'm sorry.
Fucking monsters. What the hell did you do to these people?
You like that?
Do I like that? Don't fucking come in here! What the hell did you do to these people?
Repetition there.
I don't know.
And these hey. Round of applause to the convicts there for a wonderful performance, because the setup they gave me to once again to say like don't fucking come in here. What the hell did you do to these people? Also, I had a bunch of different takes of a lot more bad words, and I was like, this is kind of rough. So this is almost the clean version that you were all seeing. But I love when that one guy runs in here and he's just like, had enough. Like, it's just like, I'm in here having a breakdown, and he just zooms in. He's like, had enough? And I know in a Fallout context they all say that, but for here, it just felt personal. You like that? Had enough? Like, I can hear you venting in there. And it just, man, they stole the show.
Don't fucking come in here! What the hell did you do to these people?
I don't know.
Whooped his ass. Courier's starting to lose his mind. The first introduction of some fake blood on the face and on the collar. Now in hindsight, I don't know if this needed to take as long. I really wanted to put it in, I don't know. There's a lot going through his head. The lighting turned out weird here too. I know what to do now. I've learned. But I wanted, because the light was so bright from across the room, I wanted to make myself more illuminated in the space. This is right off the bat, this is a lot of fun. Obviously you can tell that it's a location in New Vegas, but no, it isn't. Not for my series, damn it. This is undisclosed location. It's where the Courier grew up in my eyes. On their farmstead. This is, I think, the sewer tool, or sewer lighting in Final Cut Pro. I had to use console commands and spawn the little boy and the parents and the I can't remember. I think I used Vipers. I did this quite a few times. I had to really work out the kinks, because you have to use the the TCL, the toggle command to like have these different angles and stuff like that. Problem is that when an NPC gets killed, they like freeze, like it's just like, and they don't like gib or whatever, like, and they don't ragdoll. They just like their body stiffs, and so like I couldn't. And I had to use the T detect because they can't know that the player is there, because then they're gonna start shooting at me, and that's annoying as hell. So I got up on the barn at some point with console commands, and then I had to like speed. It's like, oh, you should have seen like how many words I could type a minute. I had to quickly just put all the commands in. Like I'm up there, they're about to engage combat with at this point the parents. I need to quickly take off the TCL, quickly take off the detection because T-detect doesn't. I feel that I mean to look into it more because it might be one that's just for the user, but T-detect is annoying because not only do NPCs not detect you, they don't detect each other. So when I did, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go watch some whoop ass. They were just standing there looking at each other. I was like, kill each other. And then as soon as I like take it off, like one of them sees me because they started to walk around at that point. So there was a lot of error with this in the beginning, but it all worked out. Now see, as a gamer, you don't really think about the reality of emotions. I would not have thought to have a mental breakdown after hacking people to pieces. Exactly. And that is why I wanted to do this series, because I feel that the Courier is a very complex person emotionally. And there's so much more to this character than just the quests themselves. I mean, there is to me a psychological influence for why this Courier is doing what they're doing. I guess the same could be said for any character, but I felt the Courier was just so neat to really break down this way. And I don't know, a flashback like this, it just like says like 1,000 words in a way. Like it's just, there's so much there.
Honey, stay down there.
Hee hee. Do I dare out her? She's at work right now. That's my lady talking. Very strange that she's playing my mother. She does not act. I met her. Quick backstory. This would be romantic. I met her in the second play I ever did in community college. I was always told to do acting. My brother is the same. Through high school, my father was a very football-focused person. We grew up I mean, he was open-minded in a sense, but he was like, you could tell he'd be hurt if we didn't play football and stuff like that. And but I knew that acting is what I like to do. I made videos all the time for my friends, and they liked it. I'm one of those people that's like, I always was told I should do it, type of shit. You got to be the person to then go ahead and do it, And so I auditioned for a play in community college, and I was so nervous. Well, I didn't even audition. I took an acting class and almost dropped it the night before. And then the teacher was like, hey, you should definitely audition for the play that I'm doing. And I waited till the very last day. He caught me. He was like, seriously, the last day's tomorrow or whatever. You need to do it. You need to just try. And I was like, okay. And I auditioned for it. I got like 2 parts. I called my brother, who was still in high school, because I found out high schoolers could be in it. It was like a community theater aspect, even though it was through the university. And do you say university for community college? Not the point. And I got my brother involved in on it, so it was a great time. And one day, the stage manager had to take my picture, and I was like, she's really pretty. And then as weeks went on, I noticed she had a Frankie Cosmo shirt. I like indie music. And I was like, oh, she's cool. So we talked about it. And then at the cast party we talked. And then she was the stage manager for my next play. And that's when I asked her to be my girlfriend. It was very nerve-wracking. And that's when I realized that she really, really prefers... Oh, yeah, hey, Jerry, Rain, yeah. But yeah, I realized that she really, really prefers to stay behind the scenes and do stage. She was, like I said, the stage manager and like helped run the show. Very, very complex show. She did a wonderful job. And she actually acted that semester as well and hated it and never wanted to do it again. And this was her big break. I was like, just do this line. I don't have anyone else to do it. Like, please do the line. So she says the honey stay down there, and then the next episode she did it. She is not an actress, but I wanted her to do it because it was easier, and I'm scared to reach out to other content creators. I know I should have. I actually did email one of my favorite Fallout YouTubers, but they never got back to me. I was going to ask him to play the dad, but I don't know. I didn't want to. I don't want people to think I'm gonna pay him yet because I don't got money like that. So, but I figure at this point people would just be interested in doing it. So going forward, I might start putting casting calls out for these one little things. But it was just really easy. I had my setup already. I was like, just say this line into the mic so I could upload this video tomorrow. The father is my father, and I think I fit to confirm. Was he drinking that night? Had to be, right? Like, but oh, I shouldn't do him like that on the stream. But
What the hell's going on out here?
he had quite a few lines that I was dying laughing at, and I was like, "Go get him, old man." And then when I showed him this, I was like, "Look, man, you said you had your big break, Pop, and they got your ass handed to you. Like they flipped him over and then hit him with the throwing spear." So I showed my father. He was like, "Damn," and I was like, "I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry."
What the hell's going on out here?
Over here.
Whooped his ass. Aw, my cowies. Oh, he had a lot of fun recording his lines. That brings me joy. What the hell's going on? These were a lot of fun to make. They were graphic though. Like she was whooping ass. Like that was a raider, but you can even see out there. I think one of the raiders, she hit on a long shot. You can see they got a concussion from the shot. Look at me. I thought about asking one of my students to do that. I was like, I don't want to ask the parents, like, hey, does your kid want to be on my really like low-level like YouTube series? But yeah, I just use an NPC. But I feel weird that I'm an NPC there. I want it to be like fully acted all the way. And I have children I could ask. I don't know.
I'm getting out of here.
That echo there makes me laugh. She gets whooped up right here. I really like her, like when she fled, I was like, oh, cinema. Got the shot of the kid running away. Went up to her hiding. Graphic. Oh, you see it flash on the screen? I'm sure you've seen it before. It's the first use, or the next use of that caretaker. Because, look, I don't want to get too far into it. You make your own call. But with the loss of life of your mother, and if you recall Doc Mitchell's line about mother and caretaker, and then that dream sequence and the connection to mother and to this figure popping on the screen, that's the only hints that I'll ever give about it. But who am I kidding? I run my mouth about everything. But I don't know. You watch episode 2. I'd be interested to see what people say about that. I put a lot of David Lynch type of thinking into that. I try to put meaning behind every decision I made. And there is one thing that I don't want to spoil too much, but there is one character from episode 2 that we haven't really seen again, and that would be the doppelganger. And the doppelganger obviously lives inside, but it would be interesting if he didn't. So I don't know. If you've seen season 3 of Twin Peaks, it was kind of the inspiration for that type of thinking. I'm not going to go that deep into it, of course, but I do at some point. I've realized that we've neglected that story for a time now, and it would be fun to bring that character back. How exactly did you put these scenes together? Mama cracked at that lever action. No kidding. Sorry, I'm just reading all of that. So these scenes, I just went to, with console commands, I just spawned into, I think this is, what is his name? What is the name? It's like the animal thing. Something, animal, something, near Camp Searchlight. In New Vegas, of course. I use the TCL console command on PC to make it more cinematic, like I do for my videos in general, but here it really mattered to like have angles like this. And then, so they wouldn't be shooting at me. There actually is one shot of the kid when it's at his foot level. I may have cut. Oh, when he says, "I'm getting out of here," Matthew's Animal Husbandry. Thank you. That's it, exactly. Right there. I actually had to zoom in more than the original shot called for.
I'm getting out of here.
Because I had T-Detect off, so they'd keep fighting each other. And then one of the bastards shot my character when he was sitting down there. So, but yeah, it's just having the detection off and then turning it back on so they fight. and using the console commands to manipulate the space to make it more cinematic. And then post-production editing tools like the sewer and the blur effect that's around the borders. I would have done this better if I did it now. It turned out fine, but I would have made it more flashbacky. I know how to do it now. At the time, I was just fucking around, honestly. But yeah, that's generally how I did it. Just use a bunch of different... I had to re-record the fight a few times to get the footage that I really wanted, though. I just realized, have I been streaming this for like 2 hours? This has been a big break. I mean, it needs to be. This is like the first episode that I was like, wait. I loved that fade in. I remember when I was recording it. I remember when I recorded the kid fleeing away, well, myself fleeing away, and I had this like drag down. I was like, should I be doing that, or I should be making it stay with him? And I made this weird in the moment decision. I was like, this is the shot, so don't mess it up. And I just kept going lower, and it just actually worked out. I know it's not the exact spot, but just that pause that I had worked out. And it's really hard to move a mouse fluidly like that. It's really jerky. And I try to plug in that caretaker. If you notice that the screen kind of paused for a second, quiet down, quiet down. You'll notice that the screen kind of paused, and that was my mouse being jagged. It was really annoying. And I was like, well, I wanted to add this idea anyway, or maybe I didn't. Maybe it inspired it. Sometimes I said I come up with an idea because something went wrong, and then it works better than whatever I had. But it glitched out, but it felt like it glitched, and I put it right there, so I was like, don't notice the glitch out. And put a band-aid, and then it adds lore. And then you bury your parents, and then we go back to... I don't know if it'll let me. I'm not going to try to do that. But you know the scene earlier in this video. It's the sneak peek early on after I bury Barton Thorne, and then now we're here. Now you see why that was there. A little foreshadowing. Love a good foreshadow. Off to watch Reese. Glad I caught you for a bit. Thank you so much for being here. You're awesome. Then we cut back. I really loved the doubles here. Mother, father, just like 1, 2. The 2 convicts, the sheriff and his wife in bed. They stripped her too, so I had to use her leg perfectly angled to cover up her nudity. Lighting was here a lot better. Sometimes also it plays in. I'll use the same number sequence. So you have to like number your color coding. It's just like I put like the yellow to 47, the black to -10, whatever. You know what I mean? I guess. Do you? Do you know what I mean? But it just like instead of like scaling it, you can put it at a number, and then whatever I scale a clip to, I'm like, okay, I had the lighting at 67, and then I had the blue tint to -10, so I know when I go to the next clip and it cuts back to me for this dialogue sequence, -10 for the lighting or whatever, blue tint. You know, this is the same thing. You just make duplicates. Sometimes my camera gets weird and it makes myself brighter, so when I use the same lighting numbers or color grading numbers, they're different. And I think this was a really bad effect of that. I think before the flashback, I was a lot more amber. I certainly am here, but I think it was even worse before. And I think in hindsight, I would have checked it again. Like, all right, something's clearly wrong with when I filmed at the beginning of this and got to this point. Like the lighting must have just got more intense or something somehow. And then we reach this point of looking over the bodies. I'm gonna get demonetized because I should not tell you this. I shouldn't tell you this. I think her one boob was blown off, but if you look closely, you definitely can see a little bit of nipple. I don't know if I get in trouble for that because you can't tell, but I shouldn't say that. But anyway, that's a bruise. But they tore them up, and that is what this mod does. It's a pretty intense mod. It makes it a lot more realistic. And then this combat music, and you can tell there's a shift in the character. Like, this is a turning point. If you haven't gotten in trouble yet, it's probably fine. Yeah, I think so. Thank you. I hope so, at least. This was the magnetic tool again. So I loved this shot because this was what my equipment was for episode 2. my hair would have been all wiggling around. There would have been a border around me. I feel there was an actual quality upgrade as each episode has gone on, and I take pride in that. And I think right here was when I really appreciated it. This scene was a bitch. I don't know why it was so blurry. So then I played into the blur because there's a blur in his head, and then I realized there's a shaky cam effect. And I thought the shaky cam was really neat. Like, it made it a lot more like, this dude's like disoriented. Like, this is not him. This is not him. Yeah, love the handheld camera look in the last shot. Yeah, I mean, it was great. Hoover Dam battle theme hits hard. Yeah, I was just going through the New Vegas songs, and I was like, this one is just intense. Like, just that, I put no music here. Of course, I let the ambience play. And I think I may have mentioned before, when I'm editing these, obviously I put the music last. Sometimes I love the no music sometimes, and there was one point, I think it was episode 2. It was this one. I was like, I almost didn't even want to add music. Now, obviously I did, and it worked out better that I did. But I'm glad you all get to hear kind of like that room ambience sometimes, because like when I'm like editing it is really neat. And here it was just like dark. But when it cuts to that close up of me with the Hoover Dam battle theme hidden, like, I was like, this is the song. Like, I put it in there, and I was like, oh, episode 4 is about to be brutal. And this was the last time I used this outro. How long does that last? Yeah, that was the last one for that, and I made a new one. I hope this doesn't pull me back. I watched this on my Google Drive, so I don't know if I want to back out, because who knows? Well, yeah, who knows what else is on there. And but that's it. That's episode 3, and definitely one of my favorites from a production standpoint. I didn't. Positives, of course, were just the introduction of the magnetic tool, the props, like from the intro. I think it's really neat how it starts off and all this guy cares about in the moment is getting his soda, and then at the end it works into killing people again and like the guilt that comes along with it, but also that transition of just like, those bastards killed my parents, and now in episode 5 you see the importance of why you don't want to do it because of the mother's perspective of karma and things like that. But the introduction, all of this, I don't know, as each episode goes on, it makes episode 3 better and better. Like, every time I upload again, I go back to this one. I'm just like, dude, episode 2 certainly laid a foundation, but I feel like episode 3 explored a lot of, I just clicked on like the same thing twice. Episode 3 really explored a lot more about this character, and it's not just the gameplay anymore. I think it was the like I said, I know 2 had that Lynchian sequence, but it could have ended there. That could have just been a dream sequence. This is a lot more internal, and I will forever love this one for it. And you can see here that I had the lighting too much on the right, and it didn't make sense for the sun. You can see where I try to work around it and make it brighter here, but it didn't make this any more dim, so it didn't matter. Not the point right now, of course. But I don't know. I just felt a lot happened in this one, and I'm really glad that this one got the views that it did, because I felt that I worked really hard. I worked very hard on 4 too, and that didn't do well, but whatever, not the point. A lot of introduction of the introduction of the NCR and like getting to know the people of Prim. Like, there's like it introduced so much and at the same time focused so much on the character, and I don't know. I'm proud. I think that I'm most proud of my work here, and 4 felt more like a filler. I really enjoyed it. It was very important, but I feel that without 3, 4 doesn't even matter. And similar to 5, like I think without 3, it's not the same. I just feel that 3 dictates pretty much everything else going forward. So I think this one will always have a special place in my heart for the groundwork that it laid. And like I said, I know there were nuggets of this already put out into, I guess, even 1 and 2, but 3 really took it to the next level. More authentic than the actual TV show. Well, thank you. That is very kind of you to say. We're going to see how they handle New Vegas, and I'm very curious to how my channel will do once the Fallout TV show Season 2 comes out. I try to capitalize on the hype of it. Like I said, I did this. I had this idea before the show even started, but I lollygagged. And like I said, when this first season came out of that show, I was like, I'd already done the gameplay, I'd already done the first acting bit, and I was just, I don't know what to say, I was farting around, like just like telling myself I was too busy doing nothing, and it was fear-based, I think. And when I watched it, I was like, oh my god, like I need to make my video now, like before someone else does it. Like I need to make the series now. So I'll always credit the TV show of giving me that push. It was like, dude, if you're gonna be watching Fallout, like I want to show you my story in Fallout. My boy, what up, man? It's good to have you here. But yeah, it's I finally called one. Hey, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. This one is a separate one. Really enjoyed them so far. Thank you so much. This is a breakdown, Saucy, of my series. Like, I was just giving it behind the scenes. I finished that. If you want to catch the actual real stream, I'm going to be streaming again at 9 o'clock, everyone. I know I should just keep going now, but I don't want to make the stream go over 12 hours and no VOD. And then I realized, additionally, that I don't want the VODs to have all of this like information in them. It's just like, oh, you want to watch Fallout 3? Well, you got to go through this. Oh, you want to watch this? And you notice that the video is like 5 hours long. Is the breakdown going to be 5 hours long? Oh, I know who it is, Cam. Oh, I know. It's got to be, right? Cam. Thank you. I'm glad someone actually used my Snapchat story. Yeah, I've been trying to pull some people that I grew up with to watch it. But yeah, like I was saying before, I want to start separating these breakdowns and make them their own streams, because I feel that I've been rushing through them to get to Fallout 3. Because notice how each one has better been an hour, and I think we've been doing this for over 2 hours now. And I felt this was a really good opportunity to kind of separate it, and I'll see you guys, later on. I mean, I didn't realize, I thought I have more time in between, but 9 o'clock's coming soon. And then for those who were in the last week's stream, remember, I had to end the stream because my computer crashed, like with the storage problem. And then, if you were there for that stream, things were going crazy viewer-wise. Like, I hit, like, at one point 58 concurrent when I started the stream up later in the night. And I was like, it felt like was meant to be my computer problems. So it feels like tradition now to end the stream, even though all YouTubers will tell you not to do this. I like to end the stream now, and then I'll play Fallout 3 at 9 o'clock. And yes, True Lies, I'm planning on doing, well, not for the Fully Active Courier series, for everyone aware. Like, I would love to be on the production side to do Fully Active Courier series Fallout 3. I want to put that out there. But I just stream Fallout 3 and just do the gameplay. We're just having fun. Like, you get to know me a little bit better. We have some fun. I know in our playthrough recently, when I got outside of Vault 101, for some reason, Amada, when the vault door closed, she was still out there with me, like in the tunnel. And I was like, I guess you're coming with me. It's just silly stuff like that, like we focus on. It was just a regular old Let's Play, in a sense, stream. But it's a good time. Man, this guy's played Fallout since I can remember. Looking forward to it, man. Oh yeah, I really hope to see you all there. Like I said, at 9 o'clock. I don't know when I'm going to end this. I'm pretty much wrapping up here. Yeah, I have played. Sham can back it up. This is a friend of mine from back in the day. And poor bastard would have to come over and have to hear me and my brother. Like, I'm sure it was the most boring thing ever for people who weren't into Fallout. If you came to me and my brother's house, it was guaranteed New Vegas or 3 was going to be on that TV. And good luck. I was like, oh, we're having a hangout? Oh, no. You're watching me play Fallout. Like, that's what it is. Yeah, I knew every tip and trick there was. Yeah. And that's why I make these videos. Like, that's why. If there was any, I don't know, if you dedicate your life to a game like that, you may as well, like, try to make it a part of, I don't know, it already is part of my identity. And if you take it to the extreme, you have what I have here. And making myself the Courier. Saying it out loud always makes me laugh. But I really hope you all enjoyed this breakdown of episode 3. Like I said, it means a lot to me, especially in addition, like having you all here means even more. You make this really special. If there's any other questions, I'll let the chat go out for like another, if it's on a delay. If you had any questions about this episode or anything surrounding it, like technical things. This is not the episode that after I recorded my car was stolen. That was episode 4. We'll get to that. That pissed me off. Oh, a quick announcement as well. I will not be streaming next weekend. Next week, I've been neglecting my social life on the weekend, and I have some coworkers that want me to go to a birthday party. So next week I'll be taking a break from the streaming. That was magical. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Next week I'll take a break from this, and I think we need a little bit of a spread out anyway. If I do decide that I want to do it, and I feel that like no, I'm streaming my Fallout stuff, and I might. I'm going right now that I'm not, but I might. I am curious to all of you. Farewell, Courier 6. It was wonderful having you here. I am considering streaming this on a Friday, but I feel that we have a kind of a thing going, you know? Like, this is a Saturday thing. I don't know. It just feels weird. So, like I said, I consider going on a Friday. I might make a poll on my YouTube account. So look forward to the poll if you would be interested in seeing something like this on a Friday. I don't know if I'd necessarily want to, but if you're there, then I'm there for it. I will be streaming again on Wednesday with Voices of the Void. Maybe an additional day this week for like maybe some Left 4 Dead or something like that again. But definitely gonna be getting to Voices of the Void, and I don't know about the weekend after as well for it. And I don't want to knock out all of these too quickly, but definitely stay tuned, of course, for Fallout 3. If we don't get a breakdown in of the episodes, because these are really special, and I don't ever want to rush these through, I will sprinkle Fallout 3 out throughout the week if I don't get it on the weekend, of course, as well. Like, I'll double up Voices of the Void with Fallout 3 during the weekdays, and so Fallout 3 will always be consistent. I just really don't ever want to put this on a weekday. I want to make this as consistent as possible. So I'll make a poll, and if you're curious about watching this on a Friday, we'll do it. But as of now, I might take the week or two off before we break down Episode 4 of the Fully Active Courier series. And with that, I think we should conclude this one. I'm going to go get some water, get some food. And to all of you still here, I really hope I see you in less than an hour. Put the notifications on, I guess. I will be here at 9 o'clock, and we will be doing Fallout 3. I'm not even turning the computer off. I'm just going and making some food, letting this become its own VOD, and then we're going to get going in Fallout 3. We're doing Tranquility Lane, everybody. It's going to be good. It's one of the neatest parts of the Fallout series. Cool, see you later. All right, look forward to seeing you there. Appreciate it. If you're not there, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for stopping in. It was a blast. We had quite a few people stop in for this one, and that's so wonderful to see. I'm glad you guys like this. I love you guys. And I'll see you in less than an hour.